results. Agriculture is central to the economy of Jigawa State, with about 82% of the over 5.2 million populations engaged in subsistence farming on a smallholder basis. Throughout Nigeria, the sector faced neglect due to dependence on crude oil and importation of food items. Lack of access to finance for basic inputs like quality seeds and fertilizer have resulted in a vicious cycle of poor cultivation practice, which in turn leads to poor yield. Soil degradation, pests and diseases, coupled with limited research and extension services, make productions seldom competitive and profitable. The result is a dying agricultural sector with resultant high poverty rates among peasant farmers. The sector is also characterized with low value addition and high post-harvest losses. On getting to office in 2015, the Governor Badari-led administration put in place aggressive measures to revamp the sector in the state and reposition farming as a profitable venture through initiatives like the cluster farming program, which reflects the steps being taken by Jigawa State to attain the sustainable development goals, where farmers now have access to quality input, extension services, harvest support, and much more. The cluster farms are designed to solve the problems of small farm holdings inherent in Jigawa and other African farming communities. With this scheme, farmers are now assured of higher productivity and competitiveness. In the pilot of the program, which started in 2005, a maximum cluster size of 50 hectares was formed in each of the 287 wards in the state, with a maximum of 5 subclusters where 50-hectare connecting lot is not feasible. So far, 65,909 farmers have been engaged in the cultivation of rice, groundnut, sesame, and soybeans across a farmland of 59,258 hectares across the state. With more than 70% repayment rate at harvest time, the program has been deemed successful.
Ganina da kake yi wannan ita ce gonar da muka yi noman cluster. Godiya ta tabbata a Allah subhanahu wataala da kuma shugaban kasa Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari wanda ya dawo da harkar noma. Sannan godiya ta musamman ga mai girma gwamnatin jihar Jigawa wanda ya bada kulawa ya farfado da noma a jiharsa. Alhamdulillah zan iya cewa gwamnati da farko sai da ta kirayi mu ta ba mu bita a zonal office na Hadeja ba don komai ba don a sake inganta harkar noma a ba mu training. To alhamdulillah bayan sun ba mu bita, gwamnati ta kiraye mu ta ba mu takin zamani, ta ba mu iri, ta ba mu maganin kwari. NPK duk hekta sai da ta ba mu NPK bawur 4, sannan ta zo ta ba mu urea bawu 2.
Noman gyaɗan nan mu yadda ya dawo wallahi tun da muke ba mu taɓa ganin gyaɗa irin ta ba. Tun da Allah ya yi mu wallahi ba mu taɓa ganin gyaɗa kamar ta bana ba. Dan gwamnati ba karamin jarumin kokari ce mana ba a wannan tsari. Dan kuwa fi sabilillahi idan da kowace gwamnati haka take tallafawa a kowane sahi na noma, to da gaskiya Najeriya mun rabu da talauci. Dan akwai mutanen da a bana mu ba mu da muke noma gyaɗa ba, waɗanda suke mana noma don su samu wani abu wallahi sun daina tafiya rani, sun ta'allaka da abin da muke basu. Saboda haka yanzu kuma mu abin da muka samu ya ihe mu juya mu yi jari. Wallahi a cikin mu akwai ko da haka gwamnati ba mu mun samu wani jari, amma bayan an ba mu iri an kawo mana taki, an kawo mana magani, an kawo mana takin feshi, kuma daga baya an sake kara mana taki na wannan aiki. An ba mu dai a cikin sassauci yadda muka ji daɗin abu, kuma abin ya mana daɗi. Wannan gwamnati sai addu'a tsakaninmu da ita Allah ya ƙara inganta.
Kuma mun samu tallafi daga gwamnati na iri da za mu shuka a cikin wannan cluster mai hekta 10. Yawa kuma mun samu foda da kuma maganin feshi wanda za a inganta wannan aiki. bayan haka an ba mu taki an ba mu taki wanda ya hada da urea da kuma kamfa. Bayan haka an ba mu haddasa firaya ma saboda idan akwai wani manomi wanda yake da bukatar in ya ga wani abu ya taso a cikin gonarsa da zai shafi abin da ya shuka ya yi feshi da wannan firaya.
From a productivity basis, the focused approach adopted for the cluster initiatives has not only expanded the amount of land brought under cultivation, it has also positively impacted on yield across the board. For instance, the average yield of rice has improved from 2.4 tons per hectare to an average of 5.10 tons per hectare, with some sites recording as much as 8 tons per hectare. The same can be said for groundnuts, soybeans, and wheat. The successes recorded in Jigawa cluster farm model has brought accolades to the state government from international and local organizations, including the World Bank, the Kofi Annan Foundation, Central Bank of Nigeria, as well as the African Rural and Agricultural Credit Association. The model, which was featured as a unique case study at the World Bank's Land and Poverty Conference in Washington between March 20th and 24th last year, has attracted interest from several African countries who are keen on replicating the model.
We visited the rice farm, and after visiting the rice farm, we moved from there to another farm where rice was being harvested. From there, we also saw rice being threshed, comparing manual threshing with mechanical threshing of rice. I thank you, Your Excellency. And we are here now at this point where you are saying that you have bought over 1,000 machines to empower the youths. Machines that will be used either as mills, machines that are threshers, machines that are harvesters, machines that are like mobile workshop for the youths. How else can we empower the youths?
There is nothing else to do about reconstructing the Nigerian economy but what we are doing now. Agriculture now is different from agriculture in the past. You have to mechanize. We have seen mechanization. We are looking at rice mills in front of us. We have seen machines for harvesting rice. We have seen threshers. And I can tell you, in another 2 years, Jigawa and many states of this country will be major exporters of rice. And they will be major exporters of wheat and major producers of cotton and major producers of milk and beef and hides and skin.
Mun zo ne da gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya da minista na noma a bisa zagaye da muke yi domin mu ga ƙwazo da jihohi suka yi wajen amsa kira da shugaba ƙasa shugabanmu shugaba Muhammadu Buhari ya yi bara da ta wuce a birnin Kebbi na cewa mu fito mu ciyar da Najeriya da shinkafa da alkama da kuma sauran wasu ababaye da muke nomawa. Abin da muka gani a ƙasa ya nuna haka, daga gonaki na shinkafa da wajen da muka shuka alkama da kuma yanzu nan wajen raba kayan ayyuka. Abin farin ciki ne abin da muka gani a Jigawa yau. Ya nuna cewa Jigawa kadai in an bar ta za ta iya ci da Najeriya kuma haɗe da abubuwa wasu.
There will be no need for one grain of rice coming into Nigeria from outside. Some people don't believe us, but you can see now, 30 kilometers from here, behind me, 7 kilometers in front of rice, and we will see many rice fields on our way here. We will satisfy Nigeria's needs in fresh. This only one local government. This is one local government. We will give Nigerians the season's fresh rice every year to eat, not rice stored for 7 years in silos in foreign countries. Number two, there is no better way of developing our rural people who have been feeding us for centuries, whom nobody recognized, who are now becoming recognized contributors to the national economy. The president has told us, produce the food. We are producing the food. Governors are taking the lead. In a short while, Nigeria will become a major rice exporter.
We are quite pleased to be at Hadejia today with His Excellency Governor Badaru, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, that are all here to celebrate this milestone. Last year, on November 17th, President Muhammadu Buhari launched the Anko Borrowers program, and he challenged Nigerian farmers, millers, and businessmen to make Nigeria self-sufficient in rice, wheat, among other commodities. And what we have seen today in Jigawa is quite commendable. About 600 million tons of rice are produced worldwide, and I'm sure Jigawa, in a very short distance, will be contributing no less than 10 million, because it's a state that is blessed with wetland, and now with the committed political leadership of the state under Governor Badaru, I believe the sky is the limit. I'm sure this is one of those states that will give Kebbi State a competition.
I would like to thank the governor of Jigawa State, Governor Badaru, for listening to the yearning of Mr. President. When Mr. President said that it is time to go back to the basics, Mr. President said it is time to go back to the farms so we can feed our people rather than import food that we can grow in our country. I thank you, Your Excellency, for joining other states in making sure that we're able to feed our people. You said from this local government and other local governments that we should be able to have at least 1.2 million metric tons of rice, which is the contribution of Jigawa State. We're delighted. Why am I delighted? When we started the Anko Borrowers program, unfortunately we could not reach Jigawa State. But with the meager resources of the state government, they've been able to put this together from their little savings. I want to assure you, sir, whatever you need to continue to push this dream of feeding our people, the central bank stands ready to support you. You've done an excellent job taking it to this level, and what we can only do is to support you by taking it, by assisting you to take it even to higher levels. And I also, as usual, want to thank the Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, the Governor of Kebbi State, who is the chairman of the presidential team that was set up to embark on this. We are on an assessment tour, and at the end of this assessment tour all over the country, we will give a report to Mr. President, and we will truly, with what I have seen so far, I can assure Nigerians again, and I repeat myself, we are on a revolution for change in agriculture. Thank you very much.
What you have done to bring it up to this
But we have seen that we have rice 7 kilometers down and 30 kilometers this way, and towards Auyo another 25 kilometers, all cultivated rice. And this is ready to harvest, and this is one of the few fields that we introduce a lot of technology. You can see how thick the field is, and we're anticipating 7.5 to 8 tons per hectare harvest in this field, which means we'll be competitive enough to produce rice in this country without any problem.
Youth groups have been targeted for training in all aspects of the value chain, which is integrated into the government's empowerment scheme, to act as service providers to farmers under the same stringent selection process that has ensured over 98% repayment in other sectors of intervention. As part of the interventions of the state government to tackle the menace of soil degradation and low genetic potentials of crops, livestock and fish, integrated soil fertility management was introduced, as well as high-yielding crops varieties. In tackling pests and diseases outbreak, government conducted area spray against squealer birds in frontline local government areas and vaccinated 1 million herds of livestock and poultry birds. Hundreds of youths were also trained on crop protection across the state. The provision of 450 motorcycles and capacity building exercise for extension workers across the state ensure that investments in agricultural research make impact in hard-to-reach areas of the state.
I'm a staff of BEST, that is Block Station Advisor in our block. We are assigning them with we are mobilizing them, we are sensitizing them on how to use a good agricultural practices, unlike they are doing before. They are not yielding at least 30 to 40 bags per hectare, but now they are yielding up to 80 to 90 bags per hectare. So this is a serious, remarkable change.
Inadequate and high cost of quality inputs has been the bane of agriculture in Jigawa State for several years. Government intervention ensures that farmers now have access to quality input at highly subsidized rates. The governor, who is fully alert on the menace of clashes of farmers and Fulani herdsmen in search of pastures, ensures that grazing reserves are left alone and has provided hundreds of water points across the existing grazing reserves.